Hey everyone, I'm Mike. Thanks for checking out the channel. Today I'm going to do a video about something I had just mentioned in a previous video. And that's about how to take your kit guitar, which I have right here. This one is a Leo James kit guitar that I got a single humbucker and a dual rail in the neck with coil taps. And definitely a really cool guitar. Put some cool locking tuners on this. But one question I get from friends that also do kit guitars is they're like, how do I make, if I wanted to sell a kit guitar, how would I go about it? And the first thing I would say is that don't, because it's going to be hard to make money as someone that's not an established builder to sell this guitar for, even if you pay 80 bucks or you find a sale to find this for 80 bucks, it's going to be hard to sell this guitar for even 80 bucks if you're doing that. I mean, I've upgraded this with tuners, did a little paint job on it. I had messed up the original paint job, so I did the best I could with it, and I kind of added like a cool skull in it, and I really like the look that I came up with it. It's got a crackle kind of thing going on, so that was the idea I came up with it. But I told them if you really, really, really want to get into making guitars and doing that for people, there's one word that you need to have in your vocabulary, and that's great. And the two words you need to get rid of are pretty good. Pretty good is going to hold you back on selling guitars or doing anything of that kind of nature, just because if you want to make money doing this and you want to step up your game and be above everybody else, you need to be great. You can't be pretty good. And this is one of the areas that I am going to talk about. As you see, I have the entire fretboard taped off here. And I'm going to bring up a side camera that shows the neck of this guitar right there. One of the things people take and look for the easiest way to do, and I see so many videos about it, people will be like, a way you could do your fretboard and do your frets polished up in just minutes. And they're like, it actually works pretty good. Well, to me, if you want to get your name out there and you want to start making guitars that are excellent, you need to cut that pretty good out of the vocabulary and you need to make it great. And one of the simple ways you could do that is by not rushing something that's a very important procedure for a guitar, and that's polishing the frets. When you get a kit guitar, most likely there probably will be some frets that are on level, as there was on this. And I had to level those frets. Had to go through it all, straighten the neck, took it down so all the frets were level on this guitar so it would play nice. But the issue with that is when you do that, you are scratching up the frets. So now you need to make those frets smooth again. Because if you put strings on this and play it with frets like that, you'll feel it. Anyone who's played a budget, cheaper guitar, and you go to do a bend and you can feel that non-smoothness, it feels like the string's almost catching, that is your frets being just way too dirty, way too scratchy. So people will find different ways. They find steel wool, they find other things that they think they can use that will be simple to do the job quickly. And what I'm here to say is don't do the simple way about that. What we are going to do is do a polishing job the way I think, if you want to really make your guitar stand out, that you should do it also, maybe, and even go further than what I'm doing. Because this, to me, method doesn't make the frets come out pretty good. It makes them come out pretty great. So let's get to it. I'm going to play the intro, and when we come back, we are going to get to working on these frets. All right, play the intro.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, are you ready? Jesus Christ.
That's Mike's Musical Rehab.
All right, so we're back here, and we are going to do this method. A lot of you have seen these on Amazon or any music store. These are polishing fret kits. instead of having just one thing where there's like a steel wool and you just kind of go over it, this is 5 different levels. It's got a 180, 400, 1000, 1500, and 2000 grit. So each one, it gets a little bit smoother. So what we are going to do is start off with the 100. And because I taped off the whole fretboard, you could do each one individually, and I've done that sometimes too. But doing this like this, what I'm going to do is I can do 2 at a time. I can kind of go over. And then I'll kind of do each one. And what this is going to do is take out the heavier the smaller the grit number, like 180 that this is. It's got more of a coarse kind of feel, and it'll actually dig out more of the scratches. It kind of gets in there deeper and takes away. But what's good about these is it doesn't take away enough material that it changes the fret height. It's just really kind of getting out the surface scratches, so not even going to do 2 in a row. I'm going to show you as I do 1 at a time. So as I go along, I check out each one as I go. And this is where it gets really meticulous. Like, even with these, I will tell you the other part I did is I was making sure I was recording. The other thing I did here was I had crowned the frets, which means I have a tool that it's made by StuMac that I use, the one I use. And it goes over, it's like a diamond, and after you flatten the frets from making them all level, it'll crown it again and give it that kind of round contour that they normally come with. So this is just a step that is tedious, and it's the tedious steps and things that you will do in life. It's those extra steps that people don't want to do that make you go from a good builder to a great builder. And to be honest, I am not a great builder because I'm newer at this. I've really been doing these guitars for about 2 years. Building, and honestly, everything I learned, I kind of learned from friends. I learned from Amazon. There's a lot of great people on here. Philip McKnight's on here. Scar My Guitar's on here. You know, there's a whole bunch of channels I've just watched. Countless videos of people showing you how to do frets and to do little jobs on your guitar that when you learn how to do these things, it can save you a whole lot of money. Like, getting into this, when I say, you know, there's people that want to build kick guitars for a living. As I was saying, it's not easy to make that kind of living doing that because you're an unknown commodity. So, and you're building a guitar that, let's be honest, was $80 to buy. But, I mean, like, this has a ton of upgrades in it, from the bridge to the tuners to all the pots and the switches and the pickups. So this, in the realm of what I think I could sell this for, if I was trying to sell this, probably about $300, somewhere in there. Because I know people will say, oh, there's Leo James out there and stuff like that, the monsoons and stuff. I do feel all the stuff that's on this is probably better than most of that stuff. It's probably better pickups, probably better. I mean, those are really cool, really great. I got a Leo James Monsoon Deluxe over there that's fantastic, that I really love, that I play all the time. But this is a step I would tell someone, if you're learning, you want to get into building guitars, and you're like, oh, I'd really love to learn how to build these and sell them. Yeah, I don't think you can make much money, but learning how to do this stuff, this little tedious type procedures, this will actually be something you can be marketable with. Doing refrets or doing polishing frets, doing leveling jobs, doing setups are where you can make your bread and butter money for people, because people will pay you. Somebody's got a nice guitar. They don't want a simple fret polishing. They want that guitar to play amazing. They want, when they go up and down the fretboard and they're soloing, they want it to be silky smooth. And by you doing something and not taking the quick way out of it, you're actually giving a product that people would pay for and demand, because there's people that don't feel secure working on their own guitars. Even though this is a simple procedure to me to do, like, it's hard to mess up the guitar. There's people that just, they feel in their life, they're like, hey, if I do this, I am going to mess up my guitar. And they'll take it to someone else. And this is a job that if I was doing for someone else, because I'm even just on the first step, we are 10 minutes in this video, and I'm only on the first polishing compound. I have 4 other ones to go, so we're looking at a job that could take an hour, and it's something that people don't feel safe doing, and they don't trust themselves doing, so it's a market that you could get into that can make you some cash, can make, probably to do a whole entire setup. If I was doing a whole entire setup for someone with this kind of fret job, you're probably looking at 150, 200 bucks would be the charge on that to do, because yeah, you can get places that'll do a polishing job that's quicker. They're just using a little bit of steel wool and going over it. This is individually making every fret play like a champ. Alright, so I can still see some scratches in here. Alright, so that's one done. Now we are going to go into fast forward motion as I start with the second one through each one, because you don't want to sit here for an hour while I'm doing this. Alright, let's go to fast forward. Alright, so here's a prime example. This first fret that I'm looking at looks good, but it's still got a little bit of scratches in it. So what I'm going to do is individually, the rest look fine. Individually, what I'm going to do is start from that beginning process with the 180 and then just on this fret, because it's like I said, if you did just go this probably, to be honest with you, that little bit of scratch on there is probably pretty good. But that's the whole point of this video. We're getting out of the phrase of pretty good and getting into pretty great. Alright, I already see that coming out of there, so we'll still go over it with the two more. Alright, so these frets here are all done with the polishing combine. Now, I've already done the fret ends on this. This would be something else you would do. You would have done it before you really did the polishing. But these look super shiny, and I'm going to be honest with you, though, there's still one more step to go after that to get it to the extreme where people are just going to look at it and go, wow, that's incredible. So let's do that last part. I'll show you what it is. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, so here's that last step, and that is buffing out the rest of this. And how I do this kind of, let me see, I can put it on here. Fine with that on there, because I'm going to wipe that off. And what I do is I take all this here, I just use my finger. Put this on every fret. I try to smear it a little bit because this is going to shoot some places when I put the Dremel on it, but alright, so here we go. I set this to pretty much the lowest speed it can go. Then we will start down here. Should wear safety glasses for this, don't be a me, which is an idiot. You could see how amazingly, I'm sure you can in the camera, how amazingly shiny these frets are right now. You can see the stuff splashing on me, and of course, like I said, wear safety glasses. I did not because I left them upstairs and I'm a lazy bum. And there you go. This thing is actually blinding me. It's pretty awesome with how shiny it is. So let me get the last item I'm going to need here. I'll be right back. Alright, the last item we have here is just that we need is a cloth. Just to wipe this down and get some of the dust off that I put on. Now you could put a towel over the guitar and just keep from having to do some of this. But yeah, we're gonna wipe this down, and then we will begin the process of right here. Let's do a speed up on this video as we do this. Alright, here we go. All the tape is off. Clean off this area. And the last thing I'm going to do, because we had this tape on here, so we're going to turn behind me here. We're going to grab some of the Hydro from Diodario. This is an ebony fretboard, they say, but I believe it's like an ebony composite fretboard, so it's a little bit different. It's a mixture of stuff to make a dark ebony. I just don't think it's full ebony because it's a $100 kick guitar, and I don't know of many guitars that are running full ebony fretboards for $100 on a guitar. Otherwise, this neck alone would be worth over that. Alright, so we put that on. There we go. One last thing. We'll turn around and grab some of this. Can't live your life without the nut sauce. Gotta have some nut sauce. And I don't know why, but I gotta say that with a southern draw. It makes me think of the kid in the car that he's like, talking about sweating. He's like, my balls are sweating. He's like 5 years old. So, for some reason, when I say nut sauce, I gotta go nut sauce. Alright. Some of that on there. And now we will come back with the final part, which is going to be stringing this guitar. So, let's go to that one next, and I'm sure I will speedily go through that also. Alright, let's hit that one next. Alright, so I will start off, because this is a Strat and it's a 25x5 scale length, I'm going to tune this guitar to drop C. And in order to do that, I need to put on some heavy gauge strings. And these are Dunlop, the heavy core strings. They are 11s to 50s. So, that's the strings I will be using. Alright, let's put this shit in fast forward. Alright, as I get ready to string this, someone asked me why my string of choice is Ernie Ball. And it's because of this. It's that they're packed individually. I hate breaking these all out and laying them out on the table like this. And I know that's just me. It's not a difficult thing. It's not a big pain. But for me, I like Ernie Ball just doing it easy. Easy way for me to do it. As Rocky Balboa would say, there's no easy way out. So let's go to the fast forward. Right here, what I'm using on here as I come back, I am using my Rode tuner. What a Rode tuner is it's an electronic tuner. This is the Rode 3. This was the last iteration they had. And this is a great tool. It automatically tunes your guitar, but it really does an amazing job at tuning. It's so accurate. I put like a good tuner on too to check as it's doing it, and it hits it perfectly. And what's nice about these, especially if you're playing out or you're jamming with friends, is you can set like 20 different tunings in here, and then you just select the tuning you want, pluck the string, and it'll tune it to that. So if you're doing drop C, drop B, whatever, dadgad. It's always this string that's a big pain to tune. Let me be sure that it is all the way in there. I don't know why this string is always such a pain in the ass to tune. Check that the tuner is even. Tuner is tight. See, that's what happens on this. I don't know why the last string is always such a pain to tune. It's getting close. Holy cow, we're in tune. That was a big pain in the ass. So let's go over it again. Now, the smart way to do this is to stretch the strings. But being that I'm an idiot, I just like to kind of like tune them multiple times with this, and they stretch as I'm going, and then when I start playing, it'll go out of tune a little bit. I got to play a little bit more, and then eventually within about 15 minutes, they're stretched out and staying in tune. But I call it Mike's stupid way of tuning. There we go. You see this? Oh my God. I cannot describe to you how when I had this guitar, how rough these frets were, and how when I was playing it, it was just like, you could feel the grinding on it. Like it was like, kind of had this horrible like feel to it. When I was doing bends there, these were absolutely perfect. And the action is really, really still pretty decent on this. I might have to make a slight neck adjustment, only because I went to the higher strings. I went to the 11s from over my 10s, and usually that kind of moves it a little bit, but it's not awful right now. It's like just a little hair high from what I would play, and I think like a quarter of a turn is going to take that down. Yeah, I don't even need to really actually adjust that. That's pretty good. It's a little bit high, but not that it's anything. I still have room to drop the bridge a little bit if I want to. But no, that seems pretty good. So we're going to come in and do a quick play on this one, and I'll be back with you guys in 1 second. But before we do, I want to get the opinion of what a friend of mine thought of this video. So I'm going to bring him in live. He is world famous now on here, as he's got over like 100,000 views almost on YouTube, and we are going to bring in ProfitChaos right now to tell you what he thinks of how I did on this guitar today. So, Profit, you're up here somewhere. How do you think I did on this guitar?
It looks like a pile of shit.
That's not nice, man. Why you gotta be like that? You know what? I'm just gonna move on from you here. You have a good night.
Go fuck yourself.
Oh, come on, man. Come on. Be better. Be better. All right. I'll see you guys on the playthrough. Prophet was being a real dick today, so. All right. See you in a few. All right, everyone. So here we go. This is the guitar all finished with the polishing done on the frets, and let me tell you, not a scratchy fret. Plays great. Plays really, really great. It's in drop C right now because of the strings. So. All covered in blue polish from polishing the frets, but yeah, plays great. This is a guitar that was a mistake that I messed up on the body, and I made the best out of it, and then did all the right things by putting the right kind of leveling of the frets and polishing, and plays like a dream. Now, I know there's going to be people in the chat that say, hey, why didn't you do clean sounds? Because it wasn't a guitar review. It was just talking about polishing the frets. I am going to be doing a review of this pick guard because I love it. I just put it in another guitar that I had. I actually had this in 3 guitars, this exact pick guard. It's an Alnico 5 humbucker, like a 15K in there with like a 9K dual rail in the neck. And it's got a coil split in it, and it's a great pick guard that's like $60 on Amazon. And really love it so much that I put it in 3 of the guitars I built. So, as always, music makes life better. Sorry that ProfitChaos was such a jerk, but we'll be back with another video pretty soon. Maybe tomorrow we'll be doing some reaction videos. I know Nemo Fila came out with a new song, so I'm gonna check that one out too. As I always say, music makes life better. I will see you guys later. Bye.